Hey guys, it's Jimmy here, and welcome back to another iRacing video. This one is at Glen in the fixed series for the GT prototype series. We are running the full GT as per usual, and yeah, I'm just looking at lap times now. I'm not qualified because all I've done is practice around here. I didn't expect there to be many people in this race, and we've only got 4 in our class, so it's not going to be too hectic, I don't think. Like I said, looking at the times, my best time so far is about a 150.5, so second place on the grid if we're qualified, but I'm not quite sure how this 13 car is on speed, so hopefully we'll be up there in second by the first corner and go from there, but we can only obviously we can only try. Like I said, only 14 people in this race. It's not going to be massively hectic, so just going to get a couple of practice laps in again just to make sure everything's feeling okay. I've been having a bit of trouble recently with my wheel again, and I don't seem to cut a brake with my wheels. Basically now, instead of having no throttle input, the steering alignment, because I've got a G27 which is self-aligning, goes slightly to the left, so I'll get into the race and I'll be turning about 10 degrees to the left to go in a straight line. There'll be no damage to the car at all, it's just the way the wheel is, which is a shame, but hopefully I'll get it sorted out, and that doesn't mean getting yet another wheel. If it does mean that, then obviously no iRacing videos for a while. Also no more Logitechs. I think Z27's given me a number of problems over the couple of years that I've owned one of them, so I might be moving to a Fanatec, but early days yet. Those wheels aren't exactly cheap, so gotta get some money saved before I end up doing any of that. The fixed setup around here seems alright. 6th gear's a bit long. Feels like it's a bit useless in this car, to be honest, and car feels a bit understeery as well, but I guess that's normal with the fixed setup. They tend to be kind of there to keep you on the road as opposed to give uber performance, so understeer is common. You can see it kind of most down here where the car doesn't want to turn in. I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the GT for the fixed series and run the prototype for the non-fixed one, the longer races, so hopefully there'll be another video shortly of me doing the prototype race around here, the 65-minute race. You see the amount of understeer in this car is massive, and that's an off track already. Brilliant. Need to watch out for that in the race. I might also knock my field of view back a couple of notches just to make sure it's okay. That was a very slow lap just to get my eye in, so don't judge me from that lap. Okay, let's have just a quick adjustment of the point of view. Let's put it back just a couple, just 53, that should do us. Yeah, that feels a bit better. Okay, cool. Well, we're just going to wait for the race to start now. This one's going to be another rolling start. Like I said, there's only 4 in our class, so it's not going to be hectic at the start. On iRacing, we are 4th in the field, so that's pretty cool. One of our competitors having quite a high ping here, so we need to watch out for him on track. Basically, for those who don't know, who aren't, I wouldn't say I'm tech savvy, but aren't in the know about ping, basically a high ping on track means that the car will appear to kind of teleport over the track. Like 1 minute it will be on the right, then it will be on the left. There was a good case of that in my Indy 500 race, one of the back markers having terrible ping, where you just had no idea where he was on the track. He just kept moving around erratically, and that's not the driver, just being a bad sport. It's just his connection is quite bad. So, but yeah, so hopefully we'll watch out for him. He's in front of us on the grid, so he's this guy who'll be to the left of us, I assume. So, oh no, we're Proto will be in front of us. So, right, let's get into it. One of the things I love about the internet is that, or racing, is that no one in this race knows that I'm only wearing dressing gown and pajama bottoms for this race. What a world we live in. One of the guys at the top not seem very happy about the race. Seems to think this is going to suck. It's only the second and third car on the grid at the moment, so hopefully they'll get on shortly. Another question for you guys, just very quickly. Would you, in regards to warm-up, I always going to show a little bit of it so I can explain what's going on, but would you prefer to just cut straight to the race and go from there, like say from the warm-up lap to go, or would you prefer to see the 3 or 4 minutes before the race? I mean, leave me a comment, let me know, and we'll go from there. that scared me for a minute there. Basically, like I said on my headset, I've got a little, I think someone's up to start from the pits, I'm not entirely sure, but that's one less duty in the race. This number 1 car had quite a quick qualifying time, so I don't see us catching him. Looks like our main competition is going to be in this 14 car. It's also a Class A driver, you can see from his little strip on the back of the car. That shows you what class he is. Looks like the guy in front in first is a Class C, so obviously a very quick Class C. But as you know, class doesn't dictate how fast someone is. This just tells you how clean they are. A very slow safety car around here, so I think we'll try and leave the gap, but what happened to the other GT? That's where there's 4 of us. Oh, I can't hear them, that's not good. Just staying behind this 14 car for now. I'll pull up next to him when we get onto the straight. There's no point going side by side with him through this little bit, it's just dangerous. This being a fixed race, we've got ample amount of fuel here, so I'm going to just roll it around in first gear, try and burn a little bit more so we've got a little bit less weight when we go over the start and finish line to start the first lap. We are going to have the inside line for the for turn 1, so this should give us advantage on this guy. Hopefully we'll get past him and we can see if we can chase down this number 1 car. As we've seen before, qualifying time isn't always representative of race pace. Some people are hot lappers, as the term goes, and can only really pull out one blindingly fast lap before putting their car into a wall. You see, if I was going side by side from there, he probably would have hit me through there, so best stay back a little bit. Try and leave a bit of a gap to the Corvettes, not too much like we had in the incident at Indianapolis. Don't want to end up going green when we're going through mid corner. So it's nice to be playing iRacing again. I've been doing a lot of R-Factor practice recently for the 12-hour race coming up in my league, and yeah, that car handles a lot differently to this one. Got a lot heavier steering as well. That's to do with the force feedback though, but it's very hard to get good force feedback on R-Factor, I found.
Get ready, going green.
Hopefully we aren't gonna be going green through this little bit here. This is a bad place to go green.
Pace car is in. Green, green, green.
There we go. Just that guy who was started third, dropped back massively at the start, so that's not going to help him out. Don't want to lose touch with this guy in front. His draft's going to be very important coming up here. Already the guy in third place having a spin through turn 1. You can see that by his relative time just dropping. See if we can mill this guy in as well. I'm not sure how fast he is in the race pace. We're going to find out though, undoubtedly. Ooh dear, getting on the curbs a bit too much. Ruining our exit speed. Very difficult one to get right, that one, as is this one. Blind apex is on turn in. You can see really pulling out the gap to me through there. It's a lot faster than I am through there. At the moment it seems the number 1 car's a bit faster than I am, not massively though, so obviously we've got 25 minutes of this yet, so a mistake either way can swing the race very easily. Just getting a bit loose going through that corner. not having the turn in that he seems to either. 20 HBDs already pulling off into the pits. Must have sustained damage on the first lap.
1 minute 49.879.
Funnily enough, my fastest lap ever around this track, probably because of the slight slipstream I had in this guy in front. One of the bad things about the tyre model in iRacing is it seems to encourage you to keep cold tyres because they seem to be faster. I mean, not as in keep them in the window, I mean keep them cold. You see people in qualifying laps crawl round and then do one flat out lap, and it's, you know, half a second faster than you can do on warm tyres. Oh, so we've got a spinner ahead. I think it was an HBD looking at the front. Yeah, there's a blue one just going slowly. This guy in front of me pulling out a bit of a gap. I do despise this corner. Very easy to go very wide here and just get onto that curb, and it really does ruin you. It just throws you into the box. The box, sorry, the barrier on the right. Sorry, I was thinking about something else there. We aren't letting this number one car go too easily. But he was faster than me through here last lap. It's getting a bit too heavy on the brakes, locking up, going wide. Let's be so patient with this corner. Just feels like an age before you can get back on the power again. Trying to get into these little paved, cambered sections of the track here. These really help you turning and all through the corner. So I drag the car around a bit too wide. Oh, almost glancing the wall, very close.
1 minute 51.137.
The HBDs are about 15 odd seconds a lap faster around here than the Ford GTs are, so we're going to see them on the back of us very shortly. Yeah, number one car slowly pulling away from us. Need to see if we can get back into the sub 50s lap time wise and reel them in again, but getting on that curve a bit too much just unsettle the car. I need to be careful. And on the exit as well, you see them having to come off the throttle to stop the car from spinning out, and in turn it actually ruins my entry into there. So getting that complex wrong loses you about half a second, which you can see in front. I really have just messed up this lap already. I'll have to try and get that better for previous laps. And around there, when you're trying to get on the throttle, the car seems to push a lot. It might be because of the fixed setup, but you expect when you put your foot down for the car to come around a little bit. But no, this one seems to just dig into the ground, and you end up getting closer and closer to the outside barrier. See there, the back actually wanted to break away a little bit. That's probably my downshifting being a bit overzealous. If you watch the throttle input through that corner, you can see really like how eager I am to get back on the throttle, but you just can't do it. You're too quick. You ruin it. You just spin out. There's been times in practice where I've spun it, or I've got loose through there and tried to keep power on, keep going, but you just start snaking down the little mini straight and then put it in the wall.
1 minute 50.989.
Not an ideal lap. Try and use all that runoff as I can, but I don't want to use it on purpose. I want to try and use it as part of the corner. Some people kind of take the corner and then go off to the runoff for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why, but that's each to their own, I guess. If you look at our relative board now, the number 9 car, who's a prototype, is going to be coming up behind us fairly soon, a couple of laps time if he keeps it in a good pace, so we've got to be careful of that and be aware that he's actually for position. So obviously we won't fight him because he's not in our class, but it's overall position, so we'll just try and find a straight or something where he's going to be faster. You see the skid marks on the track where someone's had a bit of an off through there. Just try and find the right point to turn, get on that curb and then power on, but you can never really find the just the right way to do it. It always feels foreign. trying to use this paved area again to turn the car and give it a better exit, a better launch out of the corner. Showing a person track seems to be faster than the one car. I just can't get that corner right. I think maybe a deeper turn in would be better there. I'd then take it quite shallow. Again, there's the back of the car just jumping around for that little bit. Doesn't feel like it's planted to anything at all. Really making use of the downforce that the 4GT has for those corners. So it's not massive compared to the prototype, which really gets us through there all right.
1 minute 50.838.
I tend to try and keep it in 5th gear until I get up the hill here. It's very tempting to shift to 6th, but 6th is so long you actually lose quite a few RPM going up there, so I always wait till I go over the crest of the hill and I'm on a straight road again before I put it into 6th. Little things like that actually do cost you time. Trying to avoid those curbs as much as I can and stay in this little paved section, but it's very difficult once you get used to a line. Using 4th, just going to come right into the inside of the track and throttle on, try and hit that outside curb. To get a bit quick that time, but that was better than the last couple of laps. Same with this corner, that felt a lot better than the previous couple of laps. So I've got to do it, maybe a bit more speed, but just getting the line down is important. Thanks for that, I have practiced for this, but the race is always different. I always find you learn a lot more in a race than you do in practice sessions. Looking at our relative, it's like the leader of the prototype class, and number 6 is going to be on us very soon. So we'll hopefully he'll catch us by the straight, or by the back straight at least. I imagine he will for these next couple of corners. The GT is very slow compared to the prototype through here. The prototype was oodles of downforce and acceleration, and GT with its America. Looks like it's probably going to be the back straight. It's going to catch on, even going up through the chicane. Oh, look at just that speed difference there. Didn't account for that. It's straight past me.
1 minute 50.793.
Hopefully the prototype behind us won't have a...
Right side.
Just going to go a bit wide, give them a bit of space. Unfortunately GT needs that inside line. It's not quite as good as gripping the road as the prototype, so do lose a bit of time there. That number 1 car already 5 seconds in front, so unless there's some kind of contact between these guys and the GT now, which I highly doubt, we're going to be looking at 2nd place, which isn't so bad, but out of 3 I guess now, it's kind of meh really. I'm hoping the non-fixed have a bit more participation. That was sweet through there this time. Always satisfying when you get a corner right. Kind of relaxing now. I kind of accepted that 1st place probably won't happen, so I'm just gonna go. I'm not gonna drive over the limit. Drive at about 90% now. Obviously, I'm still, I'm not gonna let him pull away, but I'm not gonna fight massively to reel him in because 2nd place is still a decent finish. A bit loose through there, you can hear the wheels spinning up slightly. Car heading very understeery through that section of the course, especially on turning. So we've got another prototype bearing down on us now, number 9 car, only about 8 seconds behind us. Let's try 2nd gear through here, shall we? Oh. Car almost wanted to spin there, I had to kind of give it a little bit of opposite lock just to make sure that didn't happen. Okay, so it's not going to catch us just yet. I mean, the prototype's fast, but it's not that fast in a straight line. We'll likely see him coming through this corner in a minute, right behind us, because the prototypes are very quick through this section. Again, these long sweeping corners that rely on downforce, you just see him pull up to the back of these GTs. Like they're standing still. Getting a bit too shallow on the corner there, going a bit too high on the inside, getting on the curb, having to lift a tiny bit. Something that I seem to, a skill that I don't seem to possess is consistency at the moment. I seem to have laps where I do a corner right and laps where I do it wrong. I mean, you want to try and get that done right every time if you want to be competitive. Just comes down to more practice really. So the the prototype car very close to us now, so we'll let it go up the hill. That's no, it won't. It's backing off a little bit. It needs to get past here. It's going to be going very slowly. I'll lift out for it because I'm not challenging him massively. Had I been right behind the leader, I would have probably fought for the line. But 7 seconds between us now, and then a healthy 32-second gap to the guy in third in class. There's no point fighting too hard because at the end of the day he's still fighting for position probably. He's still trying to get up there. And he would have likely forced his way through anyway, so... I understand people say they want to kind of protect their line and protect their race, but sometimes you just have to learn to respect each other. Feels better through there, so you want to try and follow that little grey kind of outline as much as you can. If you get another car come to overtake us, both going wide there. I'm not quite sure what to do now. Is it going around the outside? No, okay. I'll stay inside here and let them go. No, that top line's faster through there. I don't think it is. I think he just made a little mistake there. I think he banked on me kind of taking him to that corner to let him through. See the back tyre starting, the back end starting to get a bit light through that corner now. Makes things a little bit challenging, but maybe a little bit more interesting for you guys. Let's have a look how the wheel's faring right now. It's staying pretty much straight at the moment, so... Oh dear, that's why I don't look at the wheel when turning into turn 1. Obviously the fixed setup working a lot better for the number 1 car. Putting in some very impressive lap times both in qualifying and in race trim, so he's deserving of the lead so far. Would have liked some more competition though. I mean, racing on your own is pretty gets pretty boring after a while. That was terrible, that corner there. I don't know why I took it that way. You see there, just taking a different line for there really does hurt the entire corner for you. Now get the 11 car coming up behind, so I'll let him pass in the straight going up here. Hopefully he won't try anything silly. He's got the speed up here and he'll know he will, so he'll just come round.
Car on your left. Clear on the left.
I think you're meant to let them go around you, but I feel that if I show my intentions early, that's just not necessary, and I lose pretty much no time doing that, so it's easier than having to make some kind of dive bomb attempt up the inside of my of that right-hander there, and ruining their corner just because I refuse to move over.
minute 52.369.
The front brake seems a little bit far forward in the setup. Brake bias seems a bit too strong. Having difficulty stopping properly for that corner and not locking up. I'm not sure why they don't let you change brake bias and fix setup. I mean, it's a very small thing that anyone can adjust in car, and it really doesn't affect the speed of the car that much. It's more preference, really. Some people like to have a wiggly car during braking. Sometimes people like to have a solid car that locks every now and then. But as fuel changes, that changes during the race as well. And I think it's basic knowledge. If you're going to have going to pay all this money for a simulator like iRacing, with, you know, you can put hundreds of pounds into this, hundreds of dollars, or whatever, wherever you're from in the world, put lots of money into this. And if you don't know what brake bias is and how to use it, then, you know, I don't know. I don't think you should be a racing person. I think you should be practicing. Being nice and gentle with the car now. You can see again the front brakes are locking on my my braking zone. They're uphill as well, so obviously the brake's not doing too well at the moment. Uphill tends to aid braking, downhill doesn't. So we've got the like I said, the 5 car, the first place prototype, really moving along. He's going to be lapping us for the second time soon. The guy behind him has a very similar paint scheme, so I'm going to assume they're teammates. I mean, I very recently joined a team for the next season of ERL, like the league I'm in now. It's changed its name again, which is very confusing. I'm going to be racing with Eric, someone who's been on the channel a couple of times, and we're both racing prototypes in that league, and I'll be bringing those races to you as well. They're going to be long races, they're endurance races, so 2 hours or more. So I've got this number 5 car getting us again. I'm not sure when it's going to be upon us. It'll probably be a back straight job again, depending on what he's like through here. Very fast. Okay, well, we'll pull over to the right and set him through.
Left side. Clear.
Prototype's taking a different line for there than I am. Maybe because they can carry a bit more speed with that downforce. Obviously downforce does need a bit of speed to get working, so I guess you have to go for that corner faster anyway, otherwise you're just going to end up spinning. See, I'm not sure if it's my driving or just the car, but you can just see just slightly when you turn into those last couple of corners, the car just doesn't want to turn initially. You get a little bit of a slide and it turns in. It might just be being a bit overzealous on the braking and the turning, but initially he just doesn't want to turn. Again, this guy going to be over. I'm going to make him take the outside line. I need this inside line.
Clear on the left.
Just getting some bit of dirty air there going up the hill and kind of having to lift off a little bit. Prototypes generate a lot of dirty air with the downforce they produce, so going through that's tricky when you're following them. That number 1 car, now 14 seconds ahead of us, really is long gone. I wouldn't imagine we've got too much longer left now anyway. About 5 minutes or so, I'd imagine. I would check, but I like guessing. You see through there, getting on the power a bit too much there. You can't really see it in the from the outset, but you can hear it and you can feel it in the wheel. the car starts spinning up a little bit and feels a bit loose at the back on acceleration, so I'd be wary of that, mainly because it heats up the back tyres and hinders your performance the next couple of corners. Kind of the same through there, really. Shifting down to third now for this bit just to be safe. Got no pressure behind me at all in terms of competition. The person in front of me is, well, like I said, long gone, so
1:51.467.
brakes there again, locking up a little bit. Really, that corner you need to be right on the inside of that curb and then as far out in the runoff as you can, whilst keeping speed, and that was neither.
Go under.
Alright, a bit on the curbs there, a bit scary. Maybe the GT class wasn't the best to choose this race. This is our first off track of the race. I don't feel I hit anything. I went 4 off there, but apparently I did. iRacing's quite strict when it comes to off tracks, and not very consistent on tracks either. Some tracks will be fine where you can just put all your wheels over the white line, but yep, that's fine. But some tracks you put even a smidgen over, and you end up getting off track. There was very scary. I was kind of saying something else then, but there I've had the majority of my crashes at this track. I'm not sure about everyone else, but you get a bit of confidence on the throttle on the exit, and you just put a wheel over the curb, and that's it. Drags you over, you spin the car, put it in the barrier, race over. And just they're not getting enough braking. Oh dear. Car feeling a bit sluggish now. Might just be me being a bit careless in these couple of these corners at the moment. Just warming up the tyres a little bit. Turning there was bad, turning way too early. White flag now, so this is our last lap.
You've got about 5 laps of
Looks like it's going to be a second place for us, so got to keep it on track again.
1:51.853.
Not sure what this will do for our iRacing, probably put it down a little bit. Second place is always fun, but not by this much. Just relaxing now for this last lap. Doesn't look like they're going to be passed by any of the Corvettes laps wise anyway, so looks like we're going to finish ahead of them. Prototype leader very quick, lapped me twice, and also second place as well. I mean, they seem to be in a different league for everyone else here today in regards to the prototypes. That number 1 car still ahead of me up to 18 seconds now, probably up to 19 by the end of the lap. So obviously he's very deserving of his win. Again, getting a bit wide for that corner, just lifting off midway through to make sure I don't hit anything. Just relaxing now for this last couple of corners. There's not much point really. Dave will be crossing the line very soon. He got on the number 1 car, getting a bit loose in that corner. That could have been raced over. I wasn't careful. Well done, David. So obviously he's won by a fair margin of me today. Also I need to find a bit more pace before I can come back here and be competitive. Just going to pull off to the side now and get out of the car.
Alright, there's the checkered flag. Great job, you did really well.
Finally, he's proud of me again. Well, there's the race results there. You can see we finished 2 laps down behind the prototype leader, who was very quick round here today. We finished quite a fair bit behind David. Bit of a shame. But became second in class. There was someone else in the GT class. I'm not quite sure where he went. It's this guy here. I think he just didn't start the race for whatever reason. But yeah, so that's my foray back into the GTs. Hopefully you'll see some more videos soon of the prototype round here, the 65-minute race, and there will hopefully be a bit more participation, a bit more racing going on. And yeah, good to be back racing road again. So I'll see you guys next time and have a lovely day.